Yo, we finally have something other to watch than people being predators. Like, it's finally something where I don't have to worry about what some grown man did to some little kid. But this video, it is I Am Glad He's Dead Now by Ryan William Johnson. If you don't know him, he's a big TikToker who tells stories and stuff. Go check him out. And yeah, this is one of his longer videos, so let's get into it.
One day, this kid, he's 12, he's hanging out with his older cousin. And older cousin is like, hey, come here, let me tell you about my time in the war. And so older cousin starts to tell these gruesome stories about some of the things he did back in the Vietnam War. About people he had unalived and women he had done horrible things to. Like unspeakable things that...
Why? What's the point of bringing over your younger sibling or younger cousin and just being like, yeah, let me tell you about all these gruesome stories that could traumatize you? What's the point?
I can't even describe on this app, otherwise my video will get removed.
That's
But
crazy.
then, to prove it, he busts out some Polaroid photos to show younger cousin. And most of these photos are of women, and they are absolutely brutal. And strangely, little cousin, he isn't grossed out. Actually,
All right. Well, I went away from watching old dudes messing with little kids to watching old dudes doing messed up things to older women. I can't escape it, basically. I can't escape
fascinated.
the
And
disgustingness.
about a year later, the cousins are together again. And the younger cousin, his name's Ricardo, and the older cousin, his name's Mike. And so Ricardo and Mike, they're hanging out at Mike's place, and Mike, he suddenly gets into an argument with his wife. And he gets so mad that he pulls out a pew-pew, and he ends up unaliving her. Right there in front of little Ricardo.
This nigga looks geeked. What the hell?
And he ends up unaliving her. Right there.
Bro looks like he's finna start touching himself to this news, to this witness. Like, what the... But nah, what I was gonna say was, I don't ever understand how someone can get so mad that you pull out a lethal weapon and shoot somebody. I don't get that. Like, getting mad, like, people who probably abuse the other one in the relationship, I can see how it happens. There's sometimes when you're mad where you really just want to hit something. Of course, if that person's in front of you, you're going to end up hitting them. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not defending it at all. Those people are wrong. But I'm saying that's more understandable than you purposefully bringing out a gun and then shooting them. There should be at least a slight bit of your thought telling you, maybe I shouldn't kill this person or shoot them because I could go to jail. I don't get it. I just don't get it at all.
In front of little Ricardo. And again, Ricardo isn't grossed out. He's fascinated. Now,
Yo,
you can decide
get this
whether
nigga out
all
somewhere.
that actually messed him up or not. Because shortly after that, Ricardo starts getting into drugs, particularly the kind that make you hallucinate. And he starts committing petty crimes and shoplifting all the time, and he gets really, really into his religion. And eventually, he just says fuck it, and he drops out of high school. A few years later, Ricardo's 17, and he gets a job at a local Holiday Inn. And while he's working his shift, he starts sneaking into the guests' rooms while they're asleep, and he'll steal their valuables. But then, he goes even further, and he starts trying to SA some of the guests. And he
Okay, I was
eventually
gonna
gets
say, there's
caught.
no way this nigga, like, from a hotel, I'm gonna assume that you're making enough money. There should be no reason you're stealing in the first place. But yeah, you can tell this nigga was just doing it for the thrill of it. Like, now you're going in and essaying girls,
And
That's-
bam, they fire him. Oh, but it gets much worse. About
Did he not
5
get
years
thrown in
later,
jail?
Ricardo is 22, and he moves.
excuse me? They found out that he essayed women, and they were just like, you're fired. Sorry, we just can't have that name in our company. No, he should be behind bars. What?
Texas to San Francisco to get a fresh
I need to
start.
start listening a little
Instead
bit
of getting
more.
a job, he spends most of his time just doing drugs. And he basically just gives up on hygiene. Like, the only thing he eats
Ugh.
are junk food and soda. And he, like, never brushes his teeth, so they inevitably start to rot. So he's just a stank ass at this point. And after about 2 years of living this stank ass lifestyle, Ricardo suddenly decides, you know what? I'm gonna start murdering people. That sounds like
Yo.
fun. And then one day, while he's out in the neighborhood, Ricardo spots a girl. And she's 9, and the girl has lost a dollar bill, and she's out looking for it. And so Ricardo approaches her, and he's like, hey, I know where your dollar bill is. I can show you. Follow me. And so she follows him into the basement of the hotel where he's living. And there, he does horrible things to her.
Yo, this nigga's disgusting as fuck. But I have to say, I feel like, okay, I feel like even as a little kid, I would never be like, damn, where's my dollar at? Oh, you know where my dollar is? In your house. Out in your basement. Hell yeah, I'm going. No, I would be like, no, you know what? I'll find 4 quarters somewhere else. I'll find 100 pennies another time. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like even as a little kid, I would never make the decision to. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a little kid anymore. So honestly, I'm not one to make that judgment call, I guess.
And he eventually unalives her. Oh, but he doesn't stop
Gosh.
there. 3 months later, he moves to Los Angeles. And there, he gets a room in a hotel on Skid Row, and he starts doing a lot more drugs. And one night, he starts stalking this 79-year-old woman who lives in the suburbs. And he breaks into her house, and then he essays her, and he unalives her with a knife. Then he just steals all her money and her expensive...
I'm just wondering, what
9
does this
months
nigga
later,
like? Because it's not even a type at this point. He's just taking random women, essaying them, and then murdering them. Like, bro, just calm down for a second. You could have used that money you made from the hotel to pay for sex or something. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to resort. I don't know. I feel like I should stop talking.
One night he hides in this woman's garage and he waits for her to get home. And when she finally does, he suddenly steps out and he pulls out a pew-pew and bang, he unalives her. Then he goes into her house and he sees the woman's roommate and bang, he unalives her too. Then, about an hour later, he's at a local park, and he spots a random woman sitting in her car. And he suddenly grabs her, and he drags her out of it, and then he pulls out his pew-pew, and he unalives her as well.
God
And yeah,
damn.
it just keeps getting worse.
He is just
Because
going on
10
a
days
streak.
later, Ricardo breaks into a house at night, and he shoots a man while he's sleeping. And then the man's wife wakes up, and she tries to fight back. And so Ricardo shoots her too, and then he unalives her with a knife. Then he steals
Gosh.
her eye.
This nigga's just on a massacre. With how many niggas he's killing, you would think that he's getting accolades. You would think that his teammates are hyping him up or something. He is dead ass going on a streak of just murder. And what's even the point? Like, honestly, he should have gotten help from the moment that the dude saw that he was not disgusted by the pictures. Okay, let's say I was a cruel sibling. Let's say I was a mean sibling. Hey, look at these pictures. Yeah, you see this? And it's a whole bunch of, like, gory stuff that no little kid wants to see. And he's over here smiling. That's not bad. Yeah, no, send that nigga to a mental hospital immediately. Or at least have a nice talk with him, telling him that that is not alright and why it's disgusting. I don't know. I just feel like they failed him, like his family failed him in this situation.
And he puts them in a jewelry box to take with him.
Wait, what did he put in this jewelry box?
And he puts them in a jewelry box to take with him as a souvenir. And so Ricardo just continues
dirty, nigga,
on this
damn.
streak of murder and SA, and he unalives at least 5 more women and 5 more couples. Usually he'll break into their home at night, execute them, and then he'll draw religious symbols at the scene of the crime. Now at this point, police are looking at this string of attacks.
How is this nigga getting away with all these murders? I mean, shit, like, you guys should have been caught him. I feel like the police system is also failing. Like, he is just going around genuinely murdering people. You would think this shit was Fortnite Reload with how much he is just killing and then getting away with it. He is just not getting caught. The police are just like, damn, another couple down. Another one bites the dust. That's crazy. That's basically what they're doing, because there's no way you guys have not caught him if you guys were actually trying. I don't know. Especially if it's in the same area.
Serial killer on the loose here. So they start investigating, but as of now, they don't have much. They have some descriptions of him, they have some sort of fingerprints, and they have some shoe prints they found at some of the crime scenes. But interestingly enough, Ricardo's shoe print is unique. There had only been one pair of that brand of sneakers sold in Los Angeles in his size. So maybe they're onto something.
God damn, what a coincidence is that? Holy.
Media is reporting on all of this. And so stories about his string of murders are blowing up all over the news. And the media starts referring to him as the Night Stalker, which, to be fair, is a much cooler name than his stank ass deserves. But with all
I
this...
saw a TikTok about that. Why are we giving these dirty, messed up, mentally insane ass niggas cool ass names? Man, he just went on a whole streak of killing couples and families. Let's call him the Night Stalker. No, now you're making him seem like some badass villain. He ain't Joker. Like, well, he basically is with how much crimes he's committed, but I'm saying, like, give him, like, a bad name, at least, so he can be ashamed of himself. Like, the Dirty Creep, or the Stank Murderer, or something like that. Don't give him no cool name that's probably gonna gas his head up like, ooh, the Night Stalker. Shit, they got me right, you feel me? Kill a couple more, they might call me the Night Stalker 2.0. Okay, that doesn't even make sense, but I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. Like, don't give them cool names. There's no
News
point.
coverage, Ricardo is starting to feel the heat, and he doesn't want to get caught. So he leaves Los Angeles, and he moves all the way back to San Francisco. And there, in San Francisco, like
Damn,
the
I just
first thing
realized he was in
does,
Los Angeles. He was dead ass playing GTA. I mean, that's basically what he was doing the entire
he
time.
breaks into a couple's home, and he unalives them, and he draws another religious symbol on the wall. And so police, they investigate this, and they're like, oh is the Night Stalker now in San Francisco? Now, the mayor of San Francisco, Mayor Dianne Feinstein, she gets on TV and she holds a press conference. And she reveals that the police have identified the Night Stalker's shoes from all those shoe prints he left behind. And then she holds up a police sketch.
I feel like, why would you... I feel like you shouldn't release something like that on broadcast. You should keep that secret. Because, if, like, personally, if I'm a murderer, and let's say I take a break, let's say I wind down for a little bit, like, damn, just killed 2 families. What's on TV? Oh, shit, they're talking about me? Oh, they know what my shoe is? I'm throwing those bitches away. Like, why would you expose what the shoe is? You're just going to make it harder for yourselves to catch them. I don't know.
Roughly what Ricardo looks like. And Ricardo, he sees this press conference on TV.
Great,
he
like, does.
Oh, snap, they're onto me. And he heads right over to the Golden Gate Bridge, and he throws his shoes over into the water.
I fucking called it. Like, who wouldn't do that? Why would you expose that information?
So he'll never leave those shoe prints again, and they'll never catch him that way. And then a few days later, he moves back to the Los Angeles area.
Great.
And then one night, Ricardo drives a little bit south of that area, and he tries to break into another family's home. But that fails. And then later, he breaks into a different couple's home. And then he shoots the husband and essays the wife before he arrogantly identifies himself to her. He says, tell them the Night Stalker was here.
See, this is what I'm talking about. The nigga thinks it's cool. He thinks it's sick. He gassed his head up. Tell them the Night Stalker was here. If y'all would have gave him a dirty name, some stupid name, he wouldn't be in this situation. Y'all fucking failed as well. God damn. Don't give him the goddamn Night Stalker.
Later, when that woman talks to police, she's able to give them a description of Ricardo. And police had also found a car he had stolen with one of his whole-ass fingerprints in it. And from that fingerprint, police are finally able to use new technology to identify it and start piecing all this together. And because Ricardo had been arrested in the past for auto theft, his fingerprints are already in the system. So now, boom, police know the Night Stalker is Ricardo. And they now have not just a crude police sketch of the Night Stalker, but an actual old mugshot.
What the fuck, bro? I was expecting him to look a lot more dirty. Damn it.
Of Ricardo. So police hold a press conference and they release the mugshot to the media. And suddenly Ricardo's picture is all over the news. And everyone is on the lookout for this serial killer. 2 days later, Ricardo's in Los Angeles and he's at a convenience store. Probably buying junk food or whatever because his rotten ass teeth. But anyway, that's when people start to recognize him. Hey, isn't that guy, the Night Stalker? So Ricardo panics and he runs out of the store and he sees a car and he immediately tries to steal it. And during all this commotion, more people recognize him. Yeah, I think that is the Night Stalker. And some of the bystanders grab him and they pull him out of the car. Then he runs across the street and he tries to steal another woman's car keys. And that woman's husband retaliates and hits Ricardo over the head with a whole ass fence post.
God
Where he got a fence post, I don't know. So now Ricardo's wounded.
Yeah, where the hell did that nigga get it from? Is he the Hulk? Did he see his wife getting used and he was like, holy shit, I'm gonna beat his ass? Like, no. Where'd he get that from?
10 citizens are chasing him down. And they finally
this
catch
nigga's
him and they
cooked.
hold him down. And they beat the living shit out of him. I'm sure it was glorious. But then eventually, police show up. And then bam, they arrest him. Here's his mugshot. And they charge his stank ass
They
with
beat
police
the
show
shit
up.
out of
And
him,
then
but he doesn't even
bam,
look
they
beat up in the
arrest him. Here's his
slightest.
mug.
The fuck? This nigga looks like he just got out the goddamn shower. Like, I think the only wound I see is above his nose and on his forehead. I was hoping that he would have, like, teeth falling out. You know what? I'm not gonna say all that.
And they charge his stank ass with 13 counts of murder, 5 counts of attempted murder, 11 SAs, and 14 burglaries. And he's found guilty of everything, and he's sentenced to death by gas chamber. Oh, but
Damn, by gas chamber? I didn't know they even still did that. I thought the only way you could get killed, like, by death was, like, the electric chair or getting, like, the injection. I didn't think they were doing the gas chamber type shit. Like, goddamn.
Craziest part. While he's on death row, he gets fans. And those fans start writing him and like visiting him in prison. And one of those fans he falls in love with, and they get married. So this...
How the fuck are they letting this nigga get married? He's on death row. How are they letting him get married? He shouldn't have any right to get married. He shouldn't have any free will to even see this person. That, oh my god, that pisses me off.
Serial killer on death row somehow finds love and gets married. Why are you still single? Anyway, he later died of cancer.
Fuck you, bro. He died of cancer? What?
And gets married. Why are you still single? Anyway, he later died of cancer. One day...
What happened to the death penalty? The nigga just died of cancer? He was able to happily get married and then die, what, about 20% of humanity dies from? What? I don't know if that's true, by the way. I don't know how many people die from cancer. But I'm saying, like, he had a calm-ass death, basically. I'm not saying cancer's calm. But I'm saying, like, a lot of people die from that. He had a regular death. He had a notebook death. What happened to the death penalty? This whole thing pissed me off. I ain't gonna lie. This whole thing pissed me off, but I can see why the title is what it is now. Me personally, I'd never be happy that anybody's dead like that. I mean, I'm not gonna say he doesn't deserve it, but that's not my way. That's not my room to talk. But I hope y'all enjoyed. We're gonna try to do some more shit after this. Hope y'all enjoy. If you want to see more of this, comment down below. And check out his channel because he is a great dude. The guy we just watched. And yeah, love y'all. Peace.